consider guests to this meeting because it's an open meeting to where we invite guests and other people, even other states, whoever wants to attend. We invite all who are seeking information and want to learn a little bit more about what the assemblies are all about. So I'd like to open the meeting with a moment of silence to welcome our Creator into our group conscience. Right, thank you. I used my video last time. I don't know if that's helpful or not. Sometimes if it starts to have delays, I probably have to turn it off. I have pretty good upload speed, and sometimes it works good, sometimes it don't. And it was raining also. So the Bivens decision, we go through it 3 times. And if you do need to respond, unmute and respond. Bivens for the first reading. This meeting is private, bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there a response to Bivens for the first reading? All right, hearing no response, Bivens for the second reading. This meeting is private, bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there a response to the Bivens for the second reading? Hearing no response, third and final reading. This meeting is private, bearing false witness, misrepresentation, and posting inflammatory rhetoric in public forums is forbidden and shall be addressed in an appropriate manner. To eliminate all conflict and false allegations, is there anyone in attendance at today's meeting that is a member or agent of any law enforcement agency or public agency of the federal, state, county, city, or township agencies present? Is there a response to the Bivens for the third and final time? All right, hearing no response, let's look at the agenda for this evening.
Robert, this is Giles on Duval. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, we've got an anonymous in the meeting. It's been there a couple of weeks now. So whoever the anonymous individual is, if they would log out of the meeting and sign back in with a name or phone number or email address, it would be appreciated. So if they're not willing to do that, I will just block them from the meeting. Thank you.
Sorry, I'm not sure I understood that. I wasn't paying close attention.
Yeah, you can go ahead and announce yourself. We just don't know what the anonymous is. Name, county.
Sorry, did you hear me? I think I accidentally shut off my mouth. It's Mike. It's Felipe on Miami-Dade.
It's Giles on Duval. May I ask how you're signing in anonymously? Because there are prompts for a name and an email address, and your phone number normally shows up.
I'm not anonymous. I'm Phil at Proton Mail. So I just didn't put my name. I just put my nickname, F-I-L.
Yeah, I see it. I can see it, Giles. Felipe, and it has his Proton email.
There's another person
If you go to
that's anonymous, though.
Oh.
Yeah, I apologize. I just wasn't sure if you were addressing me. I apologize.
Thanks, Bill.
Somebody else.
It's in the A's. It's alphabetical. If you go to all attendees, and it's under anonymous. This has been going on for a couple weeks now, but I'll take care of it. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Josh. All right, continuing on with our agenda. We do have the mission statement, and this is where all the committees, everything we do, should directly support our mission statement, because that's what we're doing. We're dedicated to the restoration of our land and soil jurisdiction, getting our courts up and running, and enforcing the public law, and populating the 4 pillars that we talk about. So that's our mission, and we do it peacefully and honorably, productive and lawful. So we do have a dashboard, and try to keep it up to date, and the ones that are shaded green are counties with organizers. And if you click on these counties, it will take you to some demographic information about that county. So it's just an outreach tool for when you use the outreach plan, when you're developing different types of outreach, and it ties right in with that. We list the old minutes, previous motions. We have opportunities to work on, new business, and we do have a list of mega files, and I'm going to move down to the latest new business. Well, basically general information. The E-Verify, this is a really good tool for anybody, and especially organizers. So if you're looking for someone, and they are on the LRO, you can go to a verification page, and it will also pull up their paperwork. And if you want to take that link and put it on any of your original private family affair paperwork, and put like one of those QR codes or whatever you want to, and if you use that in your public or affairs out in town, you can just show it to them. Scan this. Yeah, tells you who I am. I'm on the land and soil. So if you're interested in receiving a transcript for Anna's Monday nights, you can sign up and receive a transcript done by Amethyst, and here's her email address, and she will send it to you. And they're starting Tuesdays. North Carolina is hosting a Q&A session with Anna, and they do have a Telegram channel, and see if I can find it. I had it earlier, but they have a YouTube channel and a Telegram channel, and you can log into the YouTube channel. It's called North Carolina Assembly Unincorporated. I put the link earlier in chat. I go ahead and copy the link, and put it in the chat again right now. So if you're interested in doing that, and submitting questions for that Tuesday meeting, you can use the Telegram.
I'm home now.
Clicking too many buttons there. Getting a little lost. Get my bearings back. Went off course, have to adjust sales here. We were in the agenda, and we were getting ready to look at the Flipper Tip of the Week. Flipper Tip of the Week is a what we call Florida Prepper, and we have all kinds of information. This week I was wanting to share an update that Muckrock is doing. And what Muckrock is, they're just a group of people who do Freedom of Information Acts. And I just wanted to share with you how I used it earlier today. So, using the mug rock, I was looking for what kind of weapons and things are the local police receiving from the military.
Did you put my info in there? No.
Ralph, can I just interrupt for a quick?
All right.
I believe Suzanne Stewart, up on Manatee County, is the one that was signed in anonymous, and because she got disconnected. Once somebody gets blocked, I mean, is there any way to get her back on? That's the way she's been doing it for the past year.
Yeah, I think you just log back in, and then when they do, put their name on it.
Okay. All right, let me let her know.
Yeah, so looking at Muck Rock, and they have a lot of information to where you can track things, look for different things. And the Pentagon started this 1033 project. It's been going on for a long time. But what I did, I went through, and I was wanting to see what Florida's getting. So there was already a Freedom of Information Act, and so I downloaded the list. And what I did, I went over to check out Florida. So they're getting personnel carrier, full tracks. I got one batch, $244,844 worth, and that was a long time ago. They get bushing sleeves, analog, elevator, aircraft, rings, bearings, bayonets, drinking systems, field packs,
In order to enter your conference using the backup number,
head,
you will
base
need the conference
cage,
dial-in number and the
you can
access
see
code.
all kind of
Please enter your
all-terrain
conference dial-in number
four-wheel
followed by the
vehicles
pound key.
and boots, rifles, and vests, survival vests, and all kind of defibrillators, freezers. They're just racking up all kind of stuff. Night vision scopes. This is just all in Florida. Elbow pads. So they're militarizing the Rios, which we already knew that. And here's some more evidence of what they've been receiving. And it keeps going. And these are some of the current records. They have archive records, what they've received in the past. But it's amazing what you can find just using freedom of information that they've used in the past. And they have 126,000 field requests. So far, there's 23,000 agencies plus. But that's just a really valuable research tool when you're doing things. And I've been using it for a while. There's some other ones out there that track offshore count. You can look at your county court or the judge, see where their offshore count is, what LLC they're using, who's the managing members of that LLC, and all that stuff. That's just some research info as we continue doing our intel mission on the counties, because that's going to be really important to identify certain things on your county that we want to look at, because they're supposed to be doing that for us. And it sure don't seem like that's the way it's working. But we get more information about what resources they have, how they're using them, and eventually, once we're recognized and have our 4 pillars populated, we're going to be doing all that services, providing those services for the people on that county and at the state level. But we need to know what's out there and what kind of stuff we want. And when we do our audit, they better have all that stuff that is on that list I'm looking at. We want our stuff back. It's not theirs to put in their backyard. And today I was going to do a presentation and talk about why state-to-state constitutions don't apply to us. And it's using a couple articles from Anna, and it really gives us some really good insight into what we're doing as we grow our assembly. So I'm going to go ahead and start that. And they call it, the article is called Nasty Gambits. That's just one article. And talks about why state-to-state constitutions don't apply to us. That's the same way with these other constitutions. You hear a lot of these sovereign citizens, I'm under the Constitution, I could Constitution this, Constitution that. Well, as Floridians on the land and soil, we are not under the Constitution, any of them. We are over them. And that's why we focus on the power structure flow, the way power is supposed to flow, the way it was originally designed, because we are the original government. So we're trying to restore that, and that's part of our mission. So we're working on that.
Thank you, brother.
So Anna was talking about, in this article, it appears I need to explain a little bit more about your counties and their sole jurisdictions. That's where it's national jurisdiction. So on the counties, and that's where our state is, the people on the counties that make up the state. So how can you have a free and independent sovereign nation without any sovereigns? Well, you can't. And that's who we are. Well, we corrected our political status, our standing, and the proper jurisdiction known as general jurisdiction. So within the borders
Hey, I'm a
of
part
our
of an
state,
assembly meeting right now, and I want you to listen to this.
Going to Georgia,
Okay, this is live right now. I'm a part of the meeting.
Or any of these other nations.
You might want to come
we're
to Florida.
International. So the counties are the supreme local government within their physical borders. The actual county is run by a county assembly.
Okay.
Not a council, not a commission, a real lawful county assembly. And the side note I put on here, I see a lot of other counties when they do the naming convention of their counties and the style of that. So the style of our counties are written reflecting that definitive article "the," such as the Duval County.
All this applies in Maine too, you know.
In that Article 2685.
Yep.
As we all come back onto the land and repopulate our states, we also at the same time repopulate our counties. It works in tandem and in reverse. So a Wisconsinite, for example, is by definition a birthright member of the Wisconsin Assembly, and also a member of their county assembly. And then she referenced it again, the Jackson County Assembly. So when you're doing your outreach material or correspondence or developing other
I don't think I'm a part of the chat anymore.
Items that go into the general public, use the proper naming convention, the Jackson County Assembly. Or
I'm trying to get you in on this.
Same way with when she talks about the United States of America.
Like what church is supposed to be.
The county councils are part of the territorial government.
Did you know that county is another word for a parish?
Commissions are part of the municipal government, and we're neither one of those. We're the third man out. But we are nonetheless the actual lawful government.
Yes.
So county assemblies are formed by the people declaring and acting in their birthright political status as Americans. Not U.S. citizens.
My name is literally
not citizens of the United
the living
States.
man, Sedically Seabird. They're like, what's your real name? I'm like, that's my name.
A little thinking thing. U.S. citizen and citizens of the United States, they're under the Constitution. So are we honoring our birthright? And we did a whole presentation series, True Sovereignty.
Dude, I love this. This is what it's all about.
When we do that properly, and in accordance with the blueprint that's outlined in True Sovereignty, honoring our birthright, we're guaranteed success.
I'm in here now.
Still stands today.
Join the meeting.
Our Creator.
Oh yeah, here we go. I'm trying to join the meeting while still being on the phone with you.
People in the state operate in international jurisdiction.
Here we go.
The way our forefathers set things up. The only interface that the county assemblies have with international jurisdiction is using their state and its state assembly. That's
Okay,
why
I'm
we
gonna have to turn down.
make agreements with other nations and other countries. Another country might be something like Virginia or South Carolina. So we're a country, we're our own nation. And what that does, that prevents the county governments from making separate deals with these foreign powers and letting those foreign powers...
Can I still hear you, Ken?
Which could be another state. It could be another country like Cuba or New Zealand. They can come in and cut up our country in so many pieces like a cheese on a cheese board. So you have these little bits and pieces. But we're starting to see that today through, you can see the fractionalization occurring. China bought Smithfield Farms and the land, all the hogs. So they butcher the hogs, they ship them on big old containers back to China, they pump them full of who knows what, and then repackage them and ship them back to the United States. Put on the grocery shelf for the people who eat those things from Smithfield Farms. And we're seeing it not only other countries doing it, but in that call to action, we identified these foundations, corporations that are doing the same thing like other countries. But some of the main players, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street. So you can see how they're fractionalizing our sovereignty and just running all the way through it. And it's coming into our infrastructure, some of these huge corporations. And even Yellow Trucking, one of the oldest trucking companies in the United States, they just had to close their doors. All those people lost their jobs. So, and why is that? You can see the same thing happen.
Hey, I'm back.
You may remember back when the small mom and pop bookstores were open. Those were really valuable resources. I could spend hours in there just looking at all the old books.
Okay, here we go. Dude,
what happened,
they're sending me downloads and PDFs in the law in the chat room as we go.
And,
so I have like stuff.
Eliminated.
Yeah, this is how it's done, man.
So what that gave the corporations the ability to do, which were funded by BlackRock, Vanguard.
I'm a national from Maine. I asked if they could help me out. I got 3 people to contact.
But what
I'm recording this call right now, so it's fine.
With,
really, I should. I'm just trying to be a part of the chat at the same time.
Bookstores. Now they control what's on those shelves. So the foundations are controlling what's in these bookstores.
Yeah, you got to listen to this, because this is what makes it real. There's like over 50 people in the chat right now, and they're all nationals. All of them.
One seller.
All of us. And this is a private meeting. It's a private meeting, yep. I even brought up April, and she's like, I'm not against it. So I'm going to try to help her out, become a real American.
And really,
and Noah.
So that's what Thomas Jefferson, he saw the same thing way back then. When the people fear the government, there's tyranny. When the government fears the people, there's liberty. So Tom knew what he was talking about. So as we all come back on the land and repopulate our states, we also at the same time repopulate our counties. And somebody comes to the county.
Really, Maine needs somebody like me. I'm not lying, dude.
So Wisconsinite, for example, is by definition a birthright member of the Wisconsin Assembly.
But
and also
I think I'm going to reestablish myself down here.
The Jackson.
That way I'm not
the cohesive
in 2 different places in my mind, dude.
Is what has allowed it to endure so many attacks from so many angles and to withstand so many internal pressures. Now here's some more important information and additional information.
And these guys are a little bit more helpful. Up there? No way, it's like a ghost town.
Government structure.
Like you need to know your...
There's nobody really doing this.
It shows the way
no, there isn't.
The way it's supposed to be. We've looked at that quite a few times. So what Anna was talking about, there are really no state-to-state constitutions.
Dude, they're actually setting up a militia down here. That's where the questions were. Because
I know, but there's Maine's got
I
a big
apologize to
militia.
interrupt. This is Jeffrey on Pinellas.
They're very anti-government.
Anonymous
They don't
is
give a
back
fuck what the law
online.
is.
Just wanted to let you know.
it's down here in Florida too, bro. We're trying to. He's saying we need to rehabilitate the land and the soil.
He's trying to figure out
See,
how
they
to
can't
put a
fuck
name
with
in
me,
there.
bro.
Yeah.
They can't fuck with me. You understand?
So, for example, the state of Oregon Constitution that was adopted 1859 is not operable because the Reconstruction never got finished.
Oh.
And the state-of-state Constitution, known as the State of Oregon Constitution, adopted after the
So he's
Civil
letting you know
War,
that the Constitution's
doesn't apply to
no
us
good.
chickens either. So what they are operating under is a territorial state-of-state Constitution that applies only to U.S. citizens and not rank-and-file Americans. So on the image I have here, these are 6 constitutions Florida's done. They call it, and they teach it, and I got this out of one of the teacher's handbooks. So they're calling it Florida's 6 constitutions. They don't even know which Florida they're talking about. Municipal, territorial.
Yo, when I asked that police officer what Constitution did he swear to protect, he said, "Good question."
Florida Constitution. They all say
They don't like me, bro.
State of Florida, or all caps, State of Florida.
No.
Florida. So,
How come?
there you go. And we're still trying to figure out where Florida is and bring it back forward. So the same thing with any municipal state-of-state Oregon Constitution. It applies only to municipal citizens. Excuse me. Citizens of the United States.
He's
So
talking
that's
about what I was
something
talking about before.
When we just start learning
He's a brilliant man.
about the
Brilliant man.
State Assembly, we learn that there's different categories of people that are here on the land and soil.
I came up with that analogy because I realized that they did change the Constitution, and they didn't do it for us. They did it for them. And everything went to the UCC. It's no longer the Constitution anymore. It's statutes.
Type government, that
Since
other
the
corporation,
late
some other
50s going into the
company,
60s.
in its proper case, and that would be a U.S. citizen. So the end result, absolutely none of these state-level constitutions apply to any state citizen. And more importantly, anyone who claims to be covered by a state-of-state constitution is automatically unable to claim the guarantees of the federal constitution. See how that works?
Oh.
So we're not using or standing under it. Those constitutions were created for us to secure our rights, our property, our land.
Yep.
Those are
Amen.
claims and guarantees.
Amen, brother. Amen.
And when it doesn't, now we file a claim and bring that up forward. So on the image talks about
Can you hear it, Ken?
original Americans,
Yeah, you're all excited.
which are
Dude, that's why I had to call you, man, so you know it's real. So you can be a part of this.
3 categories that we
I believe it's
operate
real. I believe
as
it's
an
happening.
American state national.
No, it's a private meeting, brother. Only
So we have
we're allowed in it.
when we wake up in our house.
Oh, no,
our house is where
there's people
on
that
the
do all
county.
kinds of things,
Our
man.
home would be Florida.
Anything you can think
So
about.
when we wake up, we are
You know what?
operating
I
in
love
our
you, my brother.
private
I'm just trying to let you know
family
that there's
affairs.
some
When we
shit
go out
going
on the
down
street, now we kinda
that is quite impressive in this world right now, okay? And
shit's going down.
I want you to be a part of it.
In the people's public affairs.
You are?
What?
And
You're in the
then
meeting right
if
now.
we want to get involved in the Florida Assembly and fill some of these positions.
Yo, I got the fucking article and everything.
Governmental affairs. So, the
Oh,
other side
man.
of the equation is the quasi.
You know what, Ken? Join the religion of freedom.
That's the way the power structure is and the way they our name, peonage, archery, all those crimes, fraud, deception, all that stuff they've been doing to us just to get access to our named property. So if you claim the state-of-state constitution, you're automatically presumed to be a foreigner and not owed any of the guarantees of the federal constitution. Of all the nasty tricks employed by the territorial municipal corporations to prey upon the Americans, this is perhaps the most pernicious. Their judges and their prosecutors will almost always make a reference to the state-of-state constitution just to see how you react. So if you take the bait and seek protection under that state-of-state constitution, you're branded as a foreigner and denied any protection under the federal constitution.
Yeah, I see what he's saying.
That's the way they stack.
See, there is no state-to-state constitutions currently in effect that apply to American state citizens. For example, the original state of Oregon Constitution adopted in 1859, America 1820, is not operable because the Reconstruction never got finished during the Civil War. Like I said, the Civil War never really ended. You have to declare peace. You got to come back to the land and soil, or you're dead at sea.
Operating under the state of Ohio Constitution, for example.
Yep.
Ask them which Ohio they are representing.
Yep. The de jure or the de facto, motherfucker!
Curly haunches.
Yo, when I say this stuff to them,
I'm not
they cripple, bro. They cripple.
Having anything to do with me or my assets or my name property. I'm an American owed the federal constitution.
You know what?
So
I gotta stop telling people and more. I did. I asked. I asked, and I shall receive, and now I'm delivering.
Kind of relates to the drug trade, the human trafficking. A lot of people know.
Oh, I fucking love these guys. Dude, this is where home. This is where home feels like.
So they were doing that in the 1880s. And that came up in Congress when they were talking about it. And Henry Clay and
this is what I'm talking about. Thank you, Lord. Praise
passionate out.
Praise the fire. Praise the passion.
That's not
the shin.
Passion. So some do not want to interrupt the drug trade of opium and the fig from that Ottoman Empire, to which Henry Clay retorted, "Sir, attempts have been made to alarm the committee by the dangers to
if
our
you move down here and join the
in
assembly with me, we can start our own little area in the county."
Invoice of figs and opium has been spread before us to repress our sensibilities. And that's what all the opiates do, turn people into zombies and stuff, and they can't really think. And then Webster was like, "Oh, sir, what shall it profit a man if he gain the whole world and lose his own soul? Or what shall it avail a nation to save the whole of a miserable trade and lose its liberties?" Because they knew that was what was occurring. When they can destabilize people's minds, right now they've already rewrote the history books, and they were using opium, and now we got the cartels owning the border and just bringing anything they want to over, and there's probably a lot of people that are employed by all these governmental, privately owned foreign corporation government agencies out there helping them. So during that time, many of the Greek immigrants, they were trying to get away from that.
A lot of the American dollar right now is being floated by the drug trade. That's why it hasn't collapsed.
You may be able to get some good Greek food still today.
Drugs are still traded in American dollars.
All right, back on point. So that was the end of Anna's article anyway.
Well, who started the war on drugs?
Just another thought that I've been turning over in my mind, thinking about, and
America.
Different aspects of how I operate within my private family affairs, and look at the things we are justified by what we are doing, and not just believe
funding both the prison system. Who started the war on drugs if drugs were not funding a country?
Now think about it. What do you mean I gotta do
Well, the
something?
CIA was getting paid megabucks,
What are you
and
talking
it's
about?
keeping the
Something
American
more?
dollar afloat right now.
And what
There's
that did,
there's
that kinda-
billions of dollars
that's an
being
analogy.
traded in drugs
That's how
right
we came
now.
out of Babylon. We're getting out of the system. Yeah, we came out of it. We were lost at sea, came back onto the land and soil, and returned to our original birthright inheritance.
Thank you,
But
Lord.
right now,
You have placed
I
me
gotta
in a
get
special
Babylon
place.
out of my head.
Thank you,
And
Lord.
get that Babylon out of us in our private family affairs. Get it out of my sons and daughters' heads. And part of that is just having a willingness to do that and to take the right action and look at what's going on around me. And that part of that is just exercising my rights and finding my own voice out in town when I enter into the public affairs, out on the street, out shopping, out filling my truck up with fuel. So, and then I ask myself, I see a lot of different movements, organizations, and one thing about these movements that we see popping up everywhere and ideologies is how it will eat up your energy, your time, your talent. And yeah, they may be a moral fiber in it. Yeah, we want to save the whale or whatever. But some people, we take it to extreme.
Yep.
And there's so many of them we see throughout these United States that people are interested in joining a movement, joining this fight, joining that, and helping here. And there's all kind of advertisements, all kind of propaganda wanting you to join them doing that. And what that does, that takes so much away from what our original birthright inheritance and honoring it is about. Because when you're involved in those types of activities, you spend so much time, there's a sacrifice. You neglect your family, your friends, your community, and doing the things that really matter the most to us. And a lot of them, these pro-abortion, anti-abortion, and any activity that we see going on, if I remain silent and turn a blind eye, actually, in law, that would be an accessory. And that happens. And even in the pulpit, they talk about, they just, yeah, we can kind of let that slide. We don't want to get involved in that. And, but there's still just one answer. But we can't be blind. We have to find our voice and stand on our actual birthright inheritance and reestablish that original trust agreement. So there's still just one answer. I put it in our agenda, let it float there for a few months, and it's still there, still just one answer.
I
So
see,
the work
okay.
of self-governance
So-
requires you to declare your political status, record it, and then join and build your state assembly.
Right.
And once you have your state assembly, you have to build your general assembly as a part of the state assembly. Now,
So
not
I have to be a part of the grand jury.
I want to do that. But I do try to encourage all the people who want to come to the land and soil and get papered up to get involved in the Florida Assembly.
I'm telling you, brother.
And that's a big part of it. The answer is...
See, you need to have a witness. You got to have a
once
witness.
we have our general
Okay?
assembly
I can be a witness for
and our
you.
jury pool
All right?
set up,
I can
and
be a
all
witness
that
for you
stuff
and get a
has to
witness
be properly,
from somebody else and then get you signed up. They have to be a part of the assembly,
I guess,
though.
verified. I was going to say documented, but we don't do documents. That's illegal.
So,
But all our paperwork has to be verified. We have to do it properly to where there's no mistakes, and will not put anybody in the General Assembly on any of the pillars either in jeopardy. Because they're going to really turn up the microscope when they start looking at our courts. And if there's some conflict or somebody's not papered up properly, that's why we all use the same paperwork. We know what's in it, and even all the states. And that was part of the discussion at the very beginning, because there's been
See, it doesn't matter whether I use this license plate, which I just bought, or the Regulation Z plates, which is under the Truth in Lending Act. Under Regulation Z, allows me to be able to use license plates that are not for hire and they're private, therefore cannot be molested on the highways. This is just about securing my liberties, bro.
Because you're not in commercial use, the cop has to prove that you're operating in commercial.
And then finally, after we get our 4 pillars up and our court ready, and we've
That's right.
had our practice sessions and mock courts, we can invoke ex parte Milligan and tell those foreign courts to stop misaddressing our people, because we have our own courts. They're standing up and they're operating to serve the people. So Anna still gets every day, she gets complaints that are very heartbreaking, and I get a lot too. And people, we all go through it, a lot of experiences in life, and that was just part of the Babylonian system we're under. And, well, not really under, but...
So these guys talk just like me.
...itself on us. And
I'm right at home, brother.
It takes a lot of time and money. And they spent years of their lives in jails because they've been victimized by these foreign carpetbagger courts. A lot of political prisoners still today. And while they desperately search for an answer to their particular dilemma, the answer is still staring us all in the face, just as it looked in the face every year since 1866. So what we're going to do is set up and properly qualify our state assembly, organize our general assembly, which is part of our state assembly, set up our courts, invoke our one Supreme Court. We've got Superior Courts, got all kind of different sheriff court, whatever court we need to set up, we're going to set it up, which is always a 12-man jury with full powers of jury nullification. You have to do it right.
You do.
You have to have the court precedent set, and still people mess around trying to do anything and everything, but what has to be done is outlined above. And right now, we've probably heard Anna talk about this general jurisdiction. What does that mean to us is land, air, water.
Yep.
We uphold the public law. Law is land, air, water. So we are heirs of a vast fortune, but we have to claim it. We're not residents, a foreigner on our land. We've not really been educated in any of this, and we're still being educated every day in how our sovereignty was obtained, and how we hold on to it, and how to exercise it. And one really good educational place is on this link on the education page at the American States Assembly website. And one really important book or pamphlet is America, Some Assembly Required. That's what we're doing. We're reassembling it. There are 18 services delegated by the Constitution by federal contract. The federal government...
But it's in the First Amendment, peaceably to assemble.
...is a contract government. And it's run, they use constitutions. So we're not under any of them. We are over them.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then a recent article, Anna was talking about the right focus. So you know how it is when you're trying to focus the camera, your intended subject is too close, too far away, you have to adjust the lens. It's the same way with the work we're doing. And that's why we do course correction. We have to adjust the cells or whatever and adjust what we're doing to stay on course, supporting our Florida Assembly mission statement. So a lot of people come to the assemblies in search of individual solutions to their own problems. But what we really need to be focusing on is creating that solution for everybody.
Right, unification.
Which will also solve our own problems.
Yep. Unification.
So that solution is a strong state assembly with its own general assembly,
making it easy for everyone.
Their state court in the general jurisdiction, Initially, people think of, oh, I can complete the paperwork to reclaim my birthright, political status. It'll be apparent to who I am, and all the bad stuff's just going to go away. That's not how it works.
Right.
So we don't do
That's the
paperwork
first step,
in order
and then
to
we start
result
taking
from
action.
your
We take
fact.
charge.
We do the paperwork.
It's
to
our
establish
country.
Our identity and
We
our
take it back.
standing, our status, our jurisdiction.
Seneca,
which
Kenneth Goodwin,
restores our
on the front
ability
motherfucking
to
line.
rein in those
The living men.
bureaucrats. That's why we
Yeah.
talked about, you know, something's right. We know what happened.
This
We
sounds
know
like what the
went
church is
wrong.
all supposed to be,
We know
right?
something's wrong when. Now we want to be focused on the solution. We know something's right when we are the government. The Florida Assembly is being structured and driven by committees. So please realize that and teach others. The paperwork is not a silver bullet. It's a necessary first step toward an ultimate solution. The restoration of our own state court system is the ultimate solution. This is what gives the power over the bureaucrats back to the people. And it's something that we have to give to ourselves. It's a gift to ourselves. And nobody's going to do it for us.
Yep, it's for the
We
children.
probably need to put one of these get out of jail free cards with the paperwork and put Boyd on it.
Freedom
Doing the paperwork is
is
not
not
some kind
free.
of get out of jail free card.
when we
It is the evidence
are
of
in the
our
face
individual
of tyranny.
standing and a right to form a viable state assembly. This allows us to form
Obedience.
a competent state jural assembly, and the jural assembly restores and operates our state
to the
court
Lord.
So the actual state court system, once it's restored, is guaranteed the respect of its authority by a United States Supreme Court case decided in 1866, when all that funny stuff really began to take a full effect. So that case is Ex parte Milligan, and they do have a historical marker annotating that decision. There's a picture of it. So we don't have to fight or fume or explain a great deal. We just have to get out there and do the work and educate ourselves to do it. And thankfully, the American common law is much simpler
Bro,
than these
they
forms of law
emailed me yesterday.
practiced by
I set an
corporations.
alarm. I'm getting ready to lay down. My alarm goes off, and I was like, is that today? I was like, oh, shit. I sit down, I get into the thing, and right away, you know, I felt like, man, this is it. This is happening. This is what, this is it. This is what it's all about, man. This is what I prayed for.
And there's all kind of
And
experiences.
I needed you in here right away to understand, like,
we are working on that ultimate solution. You
know what?
Here.
I could do it by myself, but it's really not as fun.
You were born in. I don't
It's
care
nice
what
having,
happened
like,
to
you.
And that's the big difference between being a movement.
Even getting Jeremy involved in this would be nice.
Some ideology. That's where love comes into
Hey,
play.
you gotta get
That's
his
where
everybody.
compassion is.
Everybody's gotta be involved.
Reflect out in our community. So I just put a little song in there. Young lady, Megan Trainor, she did a song about it. I've been working on it. And that's what we're doing. So we have to get our ducks in a row. And we're doing it step by step. Have a court field guide, step by step, 8 steps. Soon these bureaucrats will be back in their box, and with your help, our American justice system will be operating again. We've already made a lot of progress, and several states have already had third.
Well, I'm gonna leave.
Our state courts, our courts of
Part of me doesn't want to leave yet.
Not strictly limited jurisdiction, and our people are in charge of our state courts.
They don't follow law.
Of your peers, people that have returned to the land.
They follow the procedure.
With all that,
This is the movement that needs to be going on, man.
Dude, that's why I pulled you in here, bro. This is the movement that is going on. Not that it should be going on. It's going on, bro. It is happening. Like, minds are like, what? The Lord is moving.
And he chided me throughout, saying, don't blame me. It's always been in your hands. So, and that's when we reestablished that original birthright inheritance. we have free will. We just got to use it. Find that voice and break that chain and that yoke of bondage. So once we have the right focus, you know that he was right about that. It's our right and our responsibility to operate our own government, and our fault if we just don't do it. Whatever else we decry for the breach of trust and misadministration, we have suffered at the hands of our public employees, and that truth still remains. And we've named the names, we know who they are, we've named the corporations, the foundations, and it's the same people still doing it over and over. We looked at, in that call to action, over 300 names in all those foundations. So that staying focused is our Florida maxim. So the Florida Assembly, we are honorable, peaceful, productive, and lawful. An assembly safely guided, committed to restoring the lawful government, enforcing the public law, upholding the constitutional guarantees owed to Florida and Floridians. So with all that, that ties back in to what we were discussing a couple of weeks ago about a level up launch. And I'm not sure what time it is, but I do want to cover at least the first part of that, because we're working on really developing and tightening up our structure and get it really operating the way the original government is supposed to operate.
Yep.
And on this level
The
up
Civil War
line,
never ended.
just click on that and see what it looks like. So we're going to be moving forward and completing the reconstruction and moving forward together. And in the beginning, I did an introduction, which
We're bringing
recaps what we've
bringing in the
already
age
talked about
of peace.
in the presentation so far. We are the government. It's supposed to be run by us. We're the ones missing.
The Civil War never
And,
ended, hence
to make
civil
all that
law.
happen,
We are
I've
bringing
been
in the age
looking
of
at
peace.
different strategies of ways that will help us move forward. And as we grow and unite, the assembly will grow as the people grow.
Yep.
As we live our versions of our best selves and follow the passion of our hearts, the truth will surface as a guiding light. So when we're being true to ourselves and doing what's right and you know something's right, that light will be present and that darkness just fades away in the presence of light. So you will know something's right when you start seeing that. So we're as strong as the weakest link. We celebrate and learn together, strengthening our bonds between us. Those liars, those evil actors and deceivers, they're the majority, it sure seems like, and pretty much they are. And we're the minority truth seekers. The truth seekers, we're going to be shunned and persecuted because many don't want to hear the truth. The truth is useful for teaching and rebuking, correcting, training. So all will be equipped for every good work rightly, just as jurors in the jury box. And we will be sitting there rightly dividing that word of truth. So we hold that successful blueprint. Everyone.
It is like church, isn't it, bro?
We want everyone to be successful, and we want all to be on the winning team.
A lot of the same language, too.
Come that we just level up and start really focusing on how I can contribute without the sacrifice of sacrificing your family and your other responsibilities in your private family affairs. I know a lot of people are going through different experiences. So whatever you can contribute with your time and your talent, it's going to help. It takes all of us doing a little bit. When we all do a little bit, a lot gets done. So the strategic plan outline to accomplish this moving forward is brought forward for discussion with everyone in the General Assembly. We may need to modify it, clarify it, and there may be other elements that we want to add to it that really support our success. So we came here to build a different world. And that requires going about things in new ways to us, at least. So one of the strategies is looking at the Q&A session, because right now in our General Assembly it's an open meeting. So trying to look at doing a shift in the Q&A session, moving over to a General Assembly agenda format and being an open meeting to all the members and guests, and with the Q&A. To add another element in there, using a quick and powerful educational training series for new members and guests. And a lot of that may look like an assembly mission and purpose, really getting that fundamental down. What is our mission? What is our purpose? What is your purpose when you're here? And looking at the paperwork, making sure our paperwork's correct, and looking at various articles.
Here's the thing, right?
Books, and looking at the course of conduct when we tell ourselves free.
When you become a national, right? You listening? There's a thing called a baby deed, and your baby becomes your property. You're the true guardian, not the state. Right now, under parens patriae, you're under the state's parenting, and so isn't your daughter. And they can take your daughter away at any time. But as a Maine national, they cannot take your biological property from you. Do you understand what I'm saying? So here's another maxim of law. Property cannot own property. And right now, you're considered under the 14th Amendment just property. That's it.
Other than the foundation training, which is some of the basic information that we really need to get under our belt and move forward. So this meeting, the Open General Assembly, we're looking at moving it to a closed meeting. This is where the real level up is going to occur. And that's where it will be American state nationals, American state citizens. Everybody in the closed meeting will be papered up. But we're going to have a little problem doing that transition from an open meeting to a closed meeting. It's going to be a challenge, but we can do it. And we have a lot of people that are working really hard, so we're practicing. So looking at a new agenda format for the meetings, so the agenda is going to look different. We're going to be doing a roll call, a quorum, getting established, have our 67 county dashboard. But it's going to add another element into it where what county is present in this closed meeting. We want every county to have a voice. So we're going to be looking at state officials' reports.
This is what I'm talking about, bro. This is it. Local government. Local. Yep. Dude, this is why they're trying to shut people like us down. Now I get it. You know what? We need somebody of the press.
Committee. So motions, when they come to the floor, somebody has a great idea about outreach.
You need a press.
It really should touch the committee. The committees bring forth the motions because they do their due diligence and review it and understand what needs looked at, what can make it better. We'll be looking at the 4-pillar status, looking at what seats and positions are filled, court training, mock trials, tools for growth without being a little too corporate. So there are really a lot of effective tools that are out there that were developed by real genuine caring people who were trying to build their business and their homes, their families, and just picking out those best practices and be more efficient and prosperous. and lawfully protected. So we can gain from their experience and select those tools that align with our original structure and our purpose and the only lawful government. So we'll be looking at some different items. Excuse me.
What do we got
Looking at
here?
an organizer handbook, betting
We need a
handbook,
priest. I think
reporting
documenting
handbook,
this is
court
the frontier
field
of the
guide,
new
militia
world of
handbook,
freedom and
banking
peace.
team, ombuds,
By way of committee, journalists,
Public
aka press,
handbook.
can be possible.
having our seals or logos or branding and public relations type materials, templates
I have a
for
page.
the state, art, counties to do their own templates and stuff. And really looking at and teaching the committee structures and any other handbooks or resources that we need. And I listed some opportunities. So I handed this out before. I'll probably send it out again so we can start looking at it. And hopefully I have more done on the organizer handbook, which is going to cover a lot of information and consolidate some information that's been scattered for so long, so we have it in one spot. And I tried to use this email. So when people get an email, I don't know what they read in it, but I hear a lot of questions in Q&A that can be answered if they receive the email. And right at the top, complete your American State National paperwork. Use this quick start guide for completing the paperwork, getting your recording, contacting your organizers. Much more information in that quick start guide. Tracking sheets, checklists. You put your finger on what your current status is, and it tells you what paperwork and what path you need to be following to get it done. So, and remind people that there's a meeting link. We have the agenda, got a course of conduct on here, ombuds info. So we have a welcome letter. It's a lot of information in it, and Florida DUNS numbers, communicating. And if you want to share the email for friends or family, here's the URL. They can just use that opt-in link and start receiving the email. County Court Field Guide. It's in there. 8 steps to get your court up and running. And some important links. Emergency contact cards, county organizer list, recorder list, a mission statement, frequently asked questions. How do you create your LRO account? And then I put in there again, become an American State National. These are a quick start guide. And if you receive this email, you are a modern day founder. And got our address on there, the Florida Assembly.
Oop, bad gateway.
Alright, so I'm going to be quiet. Open the floor for any suggestions.
Okay, I gotta write that down. Where's my notebook?
Ralph, this is Tony. I'm Brevard. What'd you do with the welcoming letter? I yield.
It's in the, is it not popping up?
Yeah, it's shit, actually.
I didn't see it.
I clicked the emergency contact card here. I don't want that one. But this is the emergency contact card.
See, I like these guys.
Where's the welcome letter?
Because, you know, I make mistakes, man, sometimes, and they're cool.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They're legit.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, I'm good. I yield.
Yeah. So, it's got a lot of info
They also
in there
liked
about-
my idea with the press. That we need a
If
press.
you're sharing it with somebody, that's
Yeah.
it in a
Yeah.
nutshell, real quick.
Which is so much easier nowadays to do.
Yeah.
Technology is
Hey,
really
Ralph, this
the
is
why
Tabby.
this is all happening.
Tabby, hey, how you doing?
I'm good. You said you send this email to everyone? Everybody supposed to get this email?
Yeah, every Thursday, well, every Wednesday you should get it, but a lot of times I might be a little late.
You have to
Okay.
opt in order to get that email. In the chat, Mark will put in the link for people who are not receiving Ralph's email to go ahead and click on that link, enter your information so that you can receive the weekly reminders and any updates, the agenda, etc. for every week.
10-4. 10-4. Thank you. I yield.
Thank you.
Yeah, and right now I'm trying to get view in your browser, because sometimes the pictures won't show up, and other people use through the view this.
I'm glad they reached out to me, bro, because I mean, I hit them up. I couldn't make the meeting. I'm a Maine national, so I'm very much in a conflicted interest of like, you know, am I making the right decision by communicating with two different assemblies? It's like you're cheating, you know?
It's America, bud.
I know, but
States,
when you're a national, right?
Hey, Ralph, this is,
You're
Ron Canal.
actually like pledging your allegiance to that nation, bro. You're,
I got a couple questions
you know,
here. I've got a few people I'm
That
talking
territory?
about. I'm trying to get on.
Completely,
find out
man.
with our
You know, and so-
organization here. They got questions, and I just got a couple questions here if I could ask real quick. And maybe
what I'd like to
somebody
do
would
is
have the
become
answer,
an
to these.
apostle or apostole,
One of the guys
which is what
has got,
a notary is that does international
businesses,
documents
and he's got
versus
some
a notary
employees.
public
Yeah,
in one
but
ear.
Is Maine doing anything like this?
W-2 form
Well,
is...
I've been a part of their assembly. And I've been a part of their meetings. They are incredible. I mean, I've learned a lot of stuff, bro, okay?
Thinking about moving to Florida. But anyway...
What?
Because if Maine isn't doing anything like that, you could start the same thing here.
The thing with Maine is that there's not that many of them, and no one's helping each other. Everyone's doing it independently. These guys are trying to help everyone, okay?
And they're trying to help each other, which is the way it should be.
That's the way it should
Just
be.
like a church.
That's the way it needs to be. That's what I was trying to do. Is you're independent, yes, but we all kind of need the same method of specific things that make it easy and fast and that works and effective. Now, you know, I'm creative.
And you can take a lot of what they're doing and just bring it here.
Okay.
Hey, Ralph.
Yep.
You can learn a lot from these
That's a
guys.
good question I can bring up.
I think you're doing the right thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Ron's got the floor.
Alright, sir.
I got real quick, I'll get these other two out of the way. He wants to know if he still has to collect tax, sales tax, in his state, and then send the money to the state people. I told him that probably that's okay. I don't see anything wrong with that, but does anybody have any answer to that?
Yeah, the state. Yeah, we have to do that right now until we give them amnesty and we start providing that service.
So now we have.
Yeah, render unto Caesar.
Okay.
That's right.
And the last one is, he lives in
Amnesty.
Wisconsin right now, and if he ends up not coming here and stays there, that's a personal income
That's a lot of people's downfalls. They're looking for free money or a way to get out of something.
He wants to know if he still has
Instead
to
of
pay
taking
that.
responsibility for shit.
Money's not real. We actually were talking about that before I called you. It was like, they're like, the dollar's worth less than like 98% of its own. They're like, it's about to tank. And I was like, there is no money. You know, HJR 192 Act, 1933. You know, America's bankrupt.
Because we're not
This is
federal
a bankrupt
employees,
nation. There's
and
no
we're
such
not
thing as
state
money.
employees either.
Only under USC
So I don't know
12,
if there's a
411
different
is where you're going to find
better template for
So
Federal Reserve
you
notes.
definitely have to pay tax.
actually not as a United
not even real.
a national.
I didn't know if
As a
anybody
national,
tonight would
under
know
the
answer to
Immigration
that,
and Nationality Act,
Obviously not, because we don't have.
I have the statutes that make it so you're not applicable to the 28 to the 26 Internal Revenue Code as a U.S. citizen. A U.S. citizen is a taxable person
Sales tax.
because they're property of the United States.
Right now until I'm told that I don't have to, do that anymore. But that's money that I'm not paying out. I'm collecting it from my customers and then turning around and sending it to Tallahassee where they get it, and so that shouldn't interfere with anything.
It's illegal to evade taxes.
So,
It's not illegal to avoid them.
as an American state national. So
Right, yeah. Yeah, if I'd be doing the same
Smalley
thing.
just recently fucking filed taxes and is now they're going after him
U.S. citizens.
because he never filed taxes.
That's correct, right.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's what I have, so I yield.
Probably because he owes a bunch of money.
We struck out
I mean, they
on
owe
that.
him a bunch of money.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they want to go after him instead.
Go ahead, Marcos. Yeah, Marcos and Barbie.
Yeah, I'll be real quick. As far as for Ron's question about taking your business, you might want to consider, and your friend as well, taking your business private. And this is not by way of a PMA, and this is just a different way that this woman by the name of Erin O'Donnell, and she was part of an assembly too, and she knows all the ins and outs when it comes to PMA. She does some consultations as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post up her website on the chat. I did see your email. I'll go ahead and send it to your email as well. Okay, so she's the best woman to go with to learn about how to take it completely private and then be able to treat your employees and not have them do any taxes. So, you know, so.
I think he is private. He's either private or going private, so. But I appreciate anything you can send me, even, on the chat line, that'd be great.
Yeah, Erin's a really good teacher. She used to do a lot of outreach and.
I'm going to hang up the phone now with these guys and just talk to you. So what did you think?
I liked it. It was good.
Yep.
It's good stuff. I like what these guys are doing. You see, it's a church. This is all the same shit. This is what church is supposed to be, right here. Freeing yourself, yoking yourself with Christ, shedding light onto things. It's the same idea. If church wasn't a tax-exempt business, then they'd be saying all these same things.
Right. Chart your course. There we go. So this is another important. So I got all my information. It's just, look, I mean, it's all right here. God brought it right here for me, bro. You know what? I'm going to X out of this thing now.